You know we've got the wildest wrecks and the craziest crashes, but when it comes to cringy dad jokes, we'll never let you down. Buckle up and brace yourself for your weekly dose of Wham Bam. David was following behind his son while he was moving for college. Watch what happened when his son pulled out in front of another SUV driver who had the right-of-way. The other driver wasn't able to stop before T-boning David's son's Chevy Traverse. The white SUV was occupied by a mother and her daughter, and David's son also had his dog on board. Amazingly, there were no serious injuries. That crash looks brutal, and we're guessing both vehicles were totaled by the impact. We're glad that everybody was okay, including David's dog, and we hope this incident didn't affect David's college plans. Steven's wife Regina was headed home from her overnight hospital shift when she fell asleep at the wheel before her Mitsubishi ASX collided with a power pole. Regina had only dozed off for a second, but that was all it took. The impact totaled her Mitsubishi, but thankfully she wasn't seriously injured. They accepted a cash settlement from their insurance provider and replaced their vehicle with a Ford Ranger. Steven wanted to shout out his wife and his son Seth, and he told us they watch Wham Bam videos as a family. Dat Pizza Girl was on her way to get some food after a long night of making deliveries when she watched a pickup driver's colorful mating display while waiting at a red light. The pickup driver definitely got someone's attention, but probably not the someone he had intended. A cop car immediately stopped the pickup for some instant justice while Dat Pizza Girl celebrated. Dat Pizza Girl told us she was previously injured by a reckless hit-and-run driver, and now she never drives without a dash cam. If you need one for your vehicle, check the description for our recommendations. Sergio was driving when a speeding driver ran their red light and T-boned his Alfa Romeo. In addition to Sergio's car, the red light runner collided with two more vehicles, with the only surviving vehicle being a pickup truck. The other three were all totaled by the impact. First responders arrived within minutes. Thankfully, there were no life-threatening injuries. Sergio has filed an insurance claim and is still waiting for the investigation to be concluded. This submitter from Italy was waiting to enter a roundabout when the front tire of a container truck suddenly exploded, sending debris flying straight at him. The truck continued, grinding its own rim into the pavement as it exited the roundabout. Our submitter didn't tell us what led up to this situation, but hopefully everyone was okay. Carson was headed to work early one morning, about a month after moving from Alabama to North Dakota. As you'll soon see, he wasn't expecting the recent snowfall to be concealing a thin layer of ice underneath it. Even though Carson told us he was driving more slowly and cautiously than he normally would, he still lost control while making a right turn and slid helplessly into a curb. Thankfully, he was able to continue to work, and when he later inspected his vehicle, he didn't find any damage. He also said he hasn't had any related issues since, so I guess we'll let this one slide. This submitter had just dropped his 4 kids off at school when a driver in the middle of taking a driving test, well, let's just say that she probably failed. Thankfully, nobody was hurt, but our submitter told us the test examiner was not happy with the VW driver and had been screaming at her to slow down as she entered the intersection. When they exchanged information, our submitter learned that the car had been borrowed for the test. Yikes! He wanted to shout out his son Ethan and daughter Ella, who watch Wham Bam Tesla Cam with him all the time. Thankfully, the damage to our submitter's SUV doesn't look too bad. He might even be able to cover it up with one of our new vinyl decals. He can easily install them himself in minutes, and his ride will look even better than before. He can also choose either a Dashcam or a Tesla Cam sticker to go along with the pair of decals. And they're all made of 3M automotive vinyl that will hold up to pretty much anything short of another collision. To get a set of decals for your vehicle, head over to Test Bros using the link in the description. For now, let's get back to the show. Jeff was on his way home after dropping his daughter off at work when he watched another driver cruise through a stop sign after barely tapping the brakes. Sadly for the other driver, but thankfully for the rest of us, two of Florida's finest spotted the rolling renegade and stopped him for a little chat. From the looks of it, he wasn't the only one who got an earful. Jeff told us this happens a lot at this location, and he chuckled to himself as he kept on driving. Greg was about to make a left turn through an intersection after waiting for the light to turn green. Suddenly, a box truck from the right went cruising through a red light before colliding with a pickup truck. Greg stopped and checked on the driver of the black pickup, an older man who was spared injury by his airbags. He sent copies of his dashcam footage to the pickup driver as well as to the responding police. Lee was making a left turn on the first rainy day of the year when his right rear tire suddenly ruptured, sending his GMC Jimmy out of control. Even though Lee was able to get his SUV off the island and over to the side of the road, the impact had shattered one of his rims. He called roadside assistance to get a ride home. Vincent's mother was on her way to work and was about to make a left turn after the light turned green. Suddenly, a speeding SUV clipped the rear of the car in the right lane before careening off the road. The SUV went off-road before colliding with a tree. Vincent's mother stopped to check on everyone, and amazingly, nobody was seriously injured. Vincent told us his mother did say the SUV driver smelled like alcohol. This emitter was on his way home from work when he encountered a Tesla behaving badly.
That Tesla man can't drive. That Tesla man can't drive.
Our submitter hit the brakes and the horn as the Model 3 invaded his lane without a turn signal. As the Tesla driver then put their turn signal on, our submitter took the opportunity to pass the Tesla before he could get sideswiped. Justin was driving down a road when a driver from the right pulled in front of him while a pickup on the left prevented him from swerving around it. Sadly, Justin was unable to avoid making contact. When police arrived, the driver of the red car told them the intersection was chaotic, but they found her responsible without even watching Justin's dashcam footage. Jacob experienced almost the exact same thing, but in his case, the outcome was a little different. Watch what happened while he was on his way home from getting gas for his Jeep Cherokee. The driver of a Ford Focus nearly pulled out in front of Jacob's SUV. Thankfully, Jacob was able to stop in time to prevent a collision before the Ford driver almost backed into another car. Braden was driving in snowy Michigan when the Jeep in front of him lost control and started sliding toward an oncoming SUV. Come on, come on! Ooh, missed it by that much. Braden stopped to make sure everyone was okay, and he doesn't think anyone was seriously injured, but it was definitely painful to watch if nothing else. Ian was driving home when he witnessed what he thinks was a road rage incident. Considering the Chrysler had fender damage, I wouldn't be surprised if this was actually a case of a hit and run turning into a pursuit, but that's just speculation. What do you think happened? Let us know in the comments. This emitter was headed to work when he merged into the passing lane ahead of an SUV. Evidently, this infuriated the SUV driver, who decided to speed around our emitter before clipping the front of his Mustang. After the SUV driver failed to yield to traffic already in the lane he was merging into and collided with our submitter's car, the Mustang was pushed into the pylons protecting the express lane before losing control. The SUV driver then sped off, making this collision a hit and run while the Mustang slammed into the median barrier before stopping. Our submitter contacted the police and provided them with a copy of his dashcam footage. His insurance provider was able to use the SUV's license plate number to track down the driver and make his insurance policy pay for the damage. Fixing his Mustang cost $9,000 and took 3 weeks. Kevin was driving across the Queensboro Bridge when he watched a distracted Honda driver bump the side of a passing box truck. Our submitter pointed out that it didn't seem like any damage was done aside from the side mirror folding in, so it makes sense that both drivers carried on like nothing had happened. I hear you typing, no, this wasn't a Honda bump. That's when a Honda rolls into another vehicle stopped at a red light or stop sign. It's not just any Honda bumping into anything. We've straightened this out before. Don't at me. Raza was driving down a wet highway when he watched a van ahead of him lose control. Raza told us the van driver had been tailgating traffic and had to slam on the brakes when they slowed down, leading to the van spinning out and colliding with a vehicle 2 lanes over. Dave and Melinda approached a 3-way stop when they encountered a dog riding a bicycle. Okay, it was actually a dog riding a man riding a bicycle, but still. They shared a good laugh after the cyclist showed his appreciation for their patience. They also said they love all the Wham Bam channels. If you're a fan, be sure to subscribe, and don't forget to pick up a set of decals using the link in the description.
Wham Bam, we got a Patreon, man. Please support the show.